Tonight, we're going to talk about a story that's been hiding in the shadows of a very modern Korean city for decades now. It's a story about rapid growth, a series of truly unexplainable deaths, and a single, simple question that you would never, ever want to be asked. Let's get into the unsettling ghost story of the Pohang M apartment.
And this question, it really is the heart of the entire legend. It's such a chilling thought, isn't it, that a physical building, a place where people lived, could just be, intentionally wiped off the map, wiped from official existence. This is where we have to begin.
All right, let's dive right in. To really get this story, you first have to understand the setting. We have to go back to the city of Pohang in the early 1990s. So, you have to picture this. After this huge steel company, POSCO, was founded, the city of Pohang was just booming. People were flocking there for work, which meant there was this massive demand for housing. So new apartment complexes were just shooting up all over the place to keep up. And the M apartment, which started construction in December 1990, was supposed to be just another one of those projects, a symbol of progress, of prosperity. But right from the very beginning, something was different about this particular apartment complex. Its construction was marked by tragedy. A dark cloud was gathering long before the first family ever even turned a key in a lock.
During the construction period, a total of 10 people died on that site. And they weren't all workers either. Some of them were local children who had just wandered onto the property to play.
Now look, accidents on large construction sites, they're a tragic reality. They happened, but the number here was just alarming. What was even more unsettling, though, were the rumors that started to spread. See, the story wasn't just about accidents anymore. It was about a very strange encounter that seemed to happen right before each and every death.
And this is the detail that changes everything. The official cause of death for every single victim, from healthy construction workers to young kids, was exactly the same. It wasn't falls, it wasn't equipment failures, it was sudden cardiac arrest. Their hearts just stopped. And according to their families, every single one of them told the same story. They had just met a mysterious woman on the site, moments before they died. So this brings us to the absolute core of the legend, this ghostly figure and her chillingly methodical routine. And it all kicks off with a simple, almost polite question.
Just imagine for a second you're on this dusty, noisy construction site, and a woman you've never seen before walks up to you. She says, "I live here. Where do you live?" It sounds innocent enough, right? So you answer her, and then she replies with the phrase that apparently seals your fate.
It was nice to meet you. And then, she's gone. The legend says that anyone who had this exact conversation was dead within 3 days. But despite these absolutely terrifying rumors, construction finished, the apartments were sold, and families started to move in.
So the complex was done. 27 brand new apartment buildings. And the very spot where this woman had been seen most often, well, that became the site of Building 112. And once residents actually settled in, the horror started all over again. Okay, so the first incident we know about involved a newlywed couple living in apartment 1402. One morning, they're out jogging, and the wife notices her husband has stopped. He's just muttering to himself, nodding like he's in a conversation. When she asked him about it, he just cheerfully said he'd met a nice woman from apartment 1301. That evening, his wife came home from work and found him dead on the floor, his eyes frozen wide open. So grief-stricken, confused, the wife remembers what her husband said. She goes down to the management office to ask about the woman in 1301. And the manager's answer was just bone-chilling. Apartment 1301 was the only unit in the entire building that was still empty. Nobody lived there. Just a week later, it happened again. A 40-year-old man living somewhere on the 8th floor just casually tells his wife he'd met that woman from 1301. He mentioned that he thought it was kind of weird that she already knew which apartment he lived in. His wife, deeply unsettled by this, didn't sleep well. And in the middle of the night, she woke up and realized her husband, lying right next to her, wasn't moving. He was also dead. The third victim was a student staying in apartment 705. Now, he'd heard the rumors and just dismissed them as nonsense, until one night he burst into the apartment, pale, terrified, shouting that he'd just seen the woman from 1301. The elderly couple he was living with, scared for his life, insisted he sleep in their room that night, with them, for safety. It made no difference at all. The next morning, they woke up to find him dead right beside them, staring at the ceiling. I mean, just think about the sheer speed of this terror.
The second and third deaths happened only 10 days apart. That's 3 residents of Building 112, all dead from cardiac arrest, all after reporting the exact same encounter. The panic wasn't just simmering anymore. It had completely boiled over.
So the residents of Building 112 were just trapped. They were in a constant state of fear. They knew they had to do something, but what do you do? I mean, how do you fight a ghost? What kind of legal action can you possibly take against a phantom?
Well, people started moving out, obviously. The property value for homes in Building 112 completely crashed. The residents who were left, they banded together, they took their case to court, but the petition was dismissed. I mean, how can you prove a supernatural cause of death in a court of law? So they turned their attention to the construction company, and they started protests that would end up lasting for 4 very long years.
And finally, in 1995, they got a resolution. The construction company actually refunded all the residents of Building 112 their original purchase price. The building was officially closed down, sealed off, and just like that, the death stopped. But while the official case was closed, the story itself was really far from over.
You see, the legend says that Building 112 is still standing there today, a silent, empty monument right in the middle of a busy apartment complex. The entrances are sealed shut with concrete, and if you try to look it up on a map, you won't find it. It has been officially, digitally, erased from existence.
Which of course leaves us with that final, haunting question. Is this all just a really chilling piece of modern folklore, a ghost story that was born out of the anxieties of a city growing too fast? Or is there, somewhere in the city of Pohang, a sealed-off apartment building that doesn't show up on any map, holding the secret of what really happened in there?